let's talk about your syllabus for anatomy and physiology. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pan through this, and as I go, anything I see that's worthy of talking about, I'm going to talk about it. Just so you get a good grasp of sort of what we're doing and where we're headed with that material. Okay, let's roll. First, couple of comments. So this is all going to be online, lab and the lecture. With this, it's going to be putting a lot of work on you, okay? From my perspective, for you to do as well as you can possibly do in the class, you really need to have a textbook that you can read to supplement the stuff that I'm going to provide. Now, from my perspective, I'm going to be providing you with everything you need in my lectures, all right? The lecture should have all the material you're ever going to use for my class to do well. But some of you will struggle if you don't learn well auditorily, if you will. Some of you are going to struggle with being able to pick up all that information just from me explaining things. Ergo, what I would do if I were you is I would go ahead and buy the textbook for the class, because you're going to need that. You're also going to need a code that comes with that textbook. Now, if you should probably buy it from the bookstore on campus. That'd be a great idea. You could buy the textbook, even an online version of the textbook that you can read, and it'll come with a code for mastering anatomy and physiology. You have to have that to take some of my quizzes. You have to have the code. Alternatively, soon I will show you where on Canvas you can go and click a link, and it'll take you to Mastering Anatomy and Physiology, and it'll ask you to buy the code from them with the online textbook, and I think it's a lot cheaper. So buy it from the bookstore, support your college, or if you can't do that at this particular time, it is a little cheaper if you buy it from the company directly. So these are things to consider. Now, I will also make a little comment here about lab. So lab is online, and the lab manual that we have is good for our labs, but because this is an online lab, I'm not going to make you buy the lab manual. There we go. By the way, let me take this time to make a comment. I'm pretty hardcore dyslexic, so there are going to be times when I struggle getting words out, or I put sentences all backwards, or put words like the what are they called? Letters. Put the letters in weird places. So just bear with me. It's going to happen. It's life. I try to enjoy it as best as I can, and you probably should too. Just shake your head and move along. Online labs. So I'm not going to make you buy a lab manual per se for anatomy and physiology. Everything you need I will provide via my PowerPoints and other supplemental information. So don't worry about the lab manual for lab at this particular moment. I think we can probably get by with my PowerPoints, and I'll be making assignments, and we'll be doing some virtual stuff as well. So give me time. You'll be seeing that soon. Now, another quick comment before I move on. I see Honor Lock mentioned here. We'll be doing all of our tests, both lecture and lab, on Honor Lock. This is a mandated from the college, top down. We're told we have to do proctored exams. So you are going to be taking proctored exams using Honor Lock on Canvas. Okay? Now, what the heck is Honor Lock? The long story short to this is, you can see it gives you all this information. You need to have a computer that can run Google Chrome effectively. If you don't have a computer that can run Google Chrome effectively, you need to find a friend that'll let you come in and spend an hour on their computer 5 times this summer, basically. Maybe 6 times this summer. For an hour. It's not a whole lot of work that you're going to be doing on this, but you got to have it. It's one of the things that we got to do. So, yeah, you need to make darn sure that you have access to a computer that'll run Google Chrome. You have all the time ahead of time that you need now. It's going to be a week or so before you have your first test, so prepare yourselves. The time is coming. All right? Time's a-coming. What else do we have here? Textbook. We've already talked about the textbook. And last day withdrawal, makeup policy. Man, let me say this. Don't freaking miss a test. Like the tests that I'm going to give you, they'll either be up for a Friday and a Saturday, or a Sunday and a Monday. I try to do it one weekend day and one weekday. We can discuss. It'll probably end up being a Friday and a Saturday. And they'll be available for that 48-hour period. Like, there's no excuse for missing a test. You can't say, oh, something happened and no. You get 48 hours. You can find an hour to go knock out a 50 question test. Okay, it's not hard to find a little bit of time. I've got 3 kids and I'm sitting here, they're asleep. It's not hard. Okay, you can find time if you absolutely have to. You can. Okay, you can find time, especially when I'm telling you months ahead of time as to when they're going to be. Your final exam is going to be due on August the 3rd. That's when we're done. So you can expect the exam to be up for probably 2 days before that, and then it'll be due on August 3rd. And there will be no makeups after that because grades are going to be due. So make darn sure that you get that exam done on time. So that's when we're complete. Let's see what else we've got. Preparedness, no. My information you should already have, but my name is Jonathan Hopper. And this is my email. That's the best way to get in touch with me. Unfortunately, there is no calling me at this stage because they have the campus basically on lockdown. I will be in there on occasion, but probably not enough that you could call me and get in touch with me. If you want to get in touch with me, email me. You can email me through the Canvas inbox. I'll be doing, let's go ahead and talk about office hours, wherever that is. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Let's go ahead and talk about office hours. So, what I'm going to do is, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to sit at this freaking computer, man, and you can get in touch with me. I'm going to have an hour at 9 o'clock, an hour at 1 o'clock, and then an hour at 7 o'clock. So I don't care when you're working or what your life's like. If you need to get in touch with me, chances are you can find a few minutes at 9, 1, or 7. Okay? It's a broad span. And if you can't find out time to get in touch with me, you really need to talk, you email me. And I will make time for you if you want to talk person to person. Alright? I want you to do well. Alright? I want you to do well. So if you need to get in touch with me, I guarantee you, I will make the time. Alright. Attendance, that's not going to matter at this stage. Let's see what else we have. Let's talk about tests. And to talk about the exams, I'm just going to jump straight down to here. If I were you, I would go on to Canvas. I would go into the Canvas modules. I would find the syllabus. And I would print this thing out just to have the calendar. Because this calendar is going to be stuck to by me to make sure you get the information you need to get when you need to get it. What we have here is dates and weeks. So this is the week of the 8th, week of the 15th, week of the 22nd. And this tells you exactly what we're going to be covering and when. You will fail this class if you try to leave all this and do it all in like a couple days before a test. I guarantee you, you're going to fail the class and it's going to be real bad and you're going to be unhappy. You have to have the gumption. This is a hard class, man. Anatomy and Phys is for real. And I treat it as such. Like, I'm training nurses and doctors here from my perspective. And I treat it like it's very, very important to me. Okay, this matters. You better stick to this schedule. If you get behind, you're going to do bad. Alright? You got to stick to the schedule. What we're going to do is, I will upload a lecture to YouTube and link you to it. You watch that lecture, and then you take a quiz on it. I will have study guides up. Okay, there's probably already a study guide up for the first test material. If I were you, I'd have that study guide sitting to the left, watching the lecture, and anytime I cover anything on the study guide, I would pay distinctive focus. Maybe even make a note of where exactly in the lecture I talk about it. Alright? Use the information available to you. Use the information. So you'll have a quiz on Canvas for each of these chapters, and then I try to do a online mastering anatomy and physiology quiz as well. So a quiz on mastering and a quiz in Canvas. That's a lot of points available, and you've got the study guide. So between the two types of quizzes and the study guide, you should have a pretty good idea of what's going to be on my test and what you need to study for my test. And I'll probably end up doing a test review too, so prepare yourselves. My goal is that you know the information and the test just proves it. Alright? That's what we're shooting for here. So here is all the calendar and everything. If you have any kind of question, just drop me an email or inbox me from Canvas. It's all here. You can see exactly when we're doing lab stuff and what the midterm's going to look like. I'm here to tell you that some of these labs might be pretty short because we just don't have a lab that you can sit down and look at stuff for hours. So it's unfortunate, but it's life. And we'll be crossing that bridge when we get to it. Okay, so that's your syllabus for anatomy and physiology. Boy, it would make me very happy if you do extremely well, and if you apply yourself, you will. Okay, so have a good day, and I'll see you soon.